Hello, today our topic is sequence series. Let us discuss part 1, arithmetic progressions, AP. We have a different kind of series like as per example, I take 2, 5, 8, 11 and so on. So this is an AP series. What is the main thing in AP? That we have a common difference in every two terms. What is common difference? Like 5 minus 2, any term minus the previous term, the difference is called the common difference. Like 5 minus 2 is 3, and same common difference we will get in every two terms. Like if I subtract 11 minus 8, we will get 3, right? So in each term we have a common difference of 3. So this kind of a series is called an AP series, right? So if I take another example like 0.2, 0.4, 0.6 and so on. So maybe it can be decimal series, it can be integer series, it can be fraction series, right? So this is an AP series. Okay. I take another example of an AP series. This is the first term of the series, this is the second term of the series, this is the third term of the series and so on, right? If I take n terms, for the first term I can define it as like A. For the second term I can write it as A plus D, where D is the common difference. Next term will be A plus 2D, next term will be A plus 3D and so on. So my last term would be like, this is the first term, this is the second term, this is the third term, this is the third term and here it is 2D, this is the second term and here it is 1D, this is the fourth term and here it is 3D. So for the nth term, what can I write? A plus n minus 1 into my D, right? So what is the nth term? Nth term will define as A plus n minus 1 into my D. So this is the formula for nth term of an AP series, right? See, next, if like we have a AP series like 3, 7, 11, 15 and so on, and I have to find the sum of the terms of the series. Like suppose this series end up to 10 values. There are total 10 values in this series, and we can see that we have first term A, that is 3, and we have a common difference of 4, right? So we have a formula for sum. What is the formula? The sum is the sum of to the n terms is n by 2 A plus an. A is the first term and an is the last term, or you can say nth term, right? Or you can expand it. So Sn would be n by 2 A plus, I can write it as, the nth term can be defined as A plus n minus 1 into my D. So it becomes n by 2 twice of A plus n minus 1 into my D, right? So this would be the formula for the sum. I can either use this formula or we can also use this formula, right? Let us see some examples. Yes, so we have a question that the sum of first 5 terms of a series, of an AP series, is 75, and the sum of the first 10 terms of the same AP is 120, and you have to conclude the value of the sum of the first 15 terms and sum of the first 25 terms. Let's see how can we solve it. For sum of 5 terms, I have a formula. Like what is the formula for sum? That is n by 2 first term plus my nth term, or I can write it as 2i's of A plus my n minus 1 into my D. So for first 5 terms, S5 would be 5 by 2 twice of A plus 5 minus 1, that is 4, into my D, or, and this value is equal to me what? 75. On solving, 5 times of A plus 2D, this is 75, or I can write A plus 2D is 15. So this is equation 1. Similarly, from this S10 would be n by 2. Yes, So we have a question that the sum of first 5 terms of a series, of an AP series, is 75, and the sum of the first 10 terms of the same AP is 120, and you have to conclude the value of the sum of the first 15 terms and sum of the first 25 terms. Let's see how can we solve it. For sum of 5 terms, I have a formula. Like what is the formula for sum? That is n by 2 first term plus में nth term, or I can write it as 2i's of a plus में n minus 1 into में d. So for first 5 terms, S5 would be 5 by 2 twice of a plus 5 minus 1, that is 4 into में d, or, and this value is equal to me what? 75. On solving, 5 times of a plus 2d, this is 75, or I can write a plus 2d is 15. So this is equation 1. Similarly, from this, S10 would be n by 2. So here we get the two equations. The first one is a plus 2d is 15, and the second, another one is 2a plus 9d is 24. On solving these two equations, I can conclude the value of a and d, and I can simply put it in for the sum of the first 15 terms. But again, this method is very lengthy. We do not have to use this method. Okay. See, then what can we do now? You are given that the sum of the first 5 terms is 75. Let us put it on hold. I am taking an example. Suppose we have an AP series 3, 7, 10, 11, 15 and 19. So in this series I have 5 terms with a common difference of 4, right? If I ask you that what is the average of these 5 terms, if you have to find the average, we have a formula, that sum of all terms divided by the number of terms. But if the series is an AP series, then we do not need to put that formula. We can simply conclude that the middle term is itself the average, or you can say the first term plus my last term divided by 2, or second term plus second last term divided by 2, or third plus my third last, and so on, right? So in this way I can conclude the average, or the middle. If the number of terms is odd, the middle term can the middle term is the itself average, or if the number of terms is even, let us suppose 3, 7, 11, 15, 19, and the next term would be 23, right? So we have even number of terms, then the average of the middle 2 terms, again first term plus my last term divided by 2, or you can say second plus my second last, or third plus my third last, and so on. So the middle 2 terms, the average of the middle 2 terms means 11 plus 15 divided by 2. So the average would be what? 30, right? So on the basis of this, I can see that I can write S5 is equal to 5 into my T3, which is equal to my what? 75, or S10 can be written as 10 into my, okay, for 10 terms, what would be the number of terms is even, then the average would be the sum, the average of the middle 2 terms, and those middle 2 terms would be what? T5 and T6. In the series of 10 terms, the middle 2 terms are T5 and T6, and you have to find the average for this. So T5 plus my T6 divided by 2, or I can write it as T5.5. See, 5.5 is not an integer, and from this we cannot say that 5.5 is a term which is defined. But again, I am taking an example like 3, 7, 11, 15 and 19, 23. So what are the middle 2 terms? The middle 2 terms are 11 and 15, right? So this is the first value, this is the second term, this is the third term. So on the basis of this, I can see that I can write S5 is equal to 5 into my T3, which is equal to what? 75. Or S10 can be written as 10 into may. Okay, for 10 terms, what would be the number of terms is even. Then the average would be the average of the middle two terms, and those middle two terms would be what? T5 and T6. In the series of 10 terms, the middle two terms are T5 and T6, and you have to find the average for this. So T5 plus my T6 divided by 2, or I can write it as T5.5. See, 5.5 is not an integer, and from this we cannot say that 5.5 is a term which is defined. But again, I am taking an example like 3, 7, 11, 15 and 19, 23. So what are the middle two terms? The middle two terms are 11 and 15, right? So this is the first value, this is the second term, this is the third term, this is the fourth term, this is the fifth term, this is the sixth term. But if I say there is a term which is existing like T3.5, what it would be? It would be the average of these two terms, like 11 plus 15 divided by 2, that is 13. 13 is not a part of this series, but I can say that T3.5 would be 13. So using this concept, let us see how can we use it. So 10 into my T5.5, this is equal to what? 120, right? So on solving this, 5, 1, 5, 15, so I conclude that T3 is 15 and T5.5 is equal to my 12. Okay, so I need to determine the value of S15, sum of 15 terms. For sum of 15 terms, I need 15 into my T8. The middle term of the 15 terms would be 8. Sorry, yes, T8. Okay, so T3 to T5.5, we have a jump of 2.5 terms, and in the values we have a jump of -3, right? So if I need to compute the value of T8, I need another jump of 2.5, and for another jump of -3, I would get the value T8 is equal to what? 9. So directly I determine the value of T8. So putting this as 15 would be 15 into my T8, or 15 into my 9, over 135, right? Similarly, I can conclude the value of S25. It would be 25 into my the middle term. Middle term would be T13, right? So T13, for T13 I can say, so there is a jump of 5 terms and there is a jump of -6. For another 5 terms, T8 to T13, the value would be another 9 minus 6, that is 3. So T13 is 3, so 25 into 3, the value would be 75, right? Here we again have a very interesting question, and you are very aware of these kinds of questions. I think you have done in the 10th class. So if pth term of an AP is Q and the qth term of the same AP is P, find the value of P plus qth term. So you have to find the P plus qth term. What generally students do, that pth term is given as Q. Pth term means A plus P minus 1 into my D, and this is equal to what? Q. And qth term is defined as A plus Q minus 1 into my D is P. Okay, so we have again two variables and two equations. A and D are the variables, P and Q are not the variables, these are the given values, right? So if on solving, I get A minus 1 A D, this would be 0, P D minus D minus Q D, and minus minus it would be plus D, is equal to Q minus P. So D से D cancel, again d is common, p minus q is equal to q minus p. So we get d is equal to minus 1. On putting d in any of these two equations, I can conclude the value of a, which would be p plus q minus 1, right? So we have a, we have d. Now I can put the value of a and d for finding my p plus qth term. So what would be p plus qth term? I can write a p plus q is equal to my a plus p plus q minus 1 into my d, right? So on solving this, p plus q minus 1 plus p plus q minus 1 into minus 1. So here it would be 0. But again, this is a very lengthy process. Interestingly, I can say I can solve it in a very simple way. See, what can I do? You are given that pth term of an AP is q. Pth term of an AP is q, and the qth term of the AP is p, and the qth term of the AP is p, right? So a pth term is q and a qth term is p. So let us consider the value of p is 0 and q 1. This is an assumption. So using this assumption, I can write let us assume the value of p is 1 and the value of q is 2. This is the assumed values, right? So using this, I can say a1 is 2 and a2 is 1. That means first term of the series 2 and the second term of the series is 1. So the common difference, or you can say you have to find p plus qth term, that is p plus q bole to 1 plus 2, you have to find the third term. If first term of the series 2 and the second term of the series is 1, what would be the third term? There is a jump of plus 1, there is a jump of minus 1, again there is a jump of plus 1, again there is a jump of minus 1, so it would be 0. So I can directly solve it using the assuming the values, right? So this is a very simple method of solving this type of questions. I have another similar example. It is given that the mth term of an AP is n square and the nth term of the same AP is m square. You have to find the value of m plus nth term. So again using the method of assuming the values, I can assume like m is equal to say 1 and n is equal to 2. You can assume another some values. If I say m is equal to 2 and n is 4, you can assume, right? So mth term means am is equal to n square, or you can say that a1 is equal to 2 ka square. 2 ka square is 4. Next nth term bole to an is equal to m square, or a2 is equal to what? M ka square, that is 1. So for the first two terms there is a jump of plus 1 and you have to find the value of m plus nth term, am plus nth term, that is you have to find the value of third term. So if there is a value of there is a jump of one term, here the jump in value is minus 3. Again for the plus 1 jump, again if I subtract minus 3, I would get minus 2. So my answer is minus 2. But like we have the options, we do not have value minus 2, but we have all the options in the terms of m and n. So by using these terms, if I put m is equal to 1 and n is equal to 2 in each option, the option where would I get the value minus 2 would be my answer, right? So like 1 and 2, if I put 1 and 2, let us suppose in option this, so minus 1 into 1 into 2, so my answer would be minus 2, right? So here my answer would be E option. I have a question. The sum of the 15 terms is 150 and the sum of the 25 terms, first 25 terms of the series is 200. You have to find the value of n such that the sum is 0. This is given, the sum is 0 and you have to find the value of n. See, what can we do? As 15 means 15 into the middle term, the average, the number of terms into the average, right? So average is middle term, for the 15 terms, the middle term would be 8 and this is equal to what? 150. So here I can write 8th term would be 10. Next, S25 is 200 and S25 would be 25 into the middle term is 13 term would be middle term and here it is 200, or I can say 13th term is what? 8. See, there is a jump of plus 5 terms and there is a jump of minus 2 in the value. Okay, what I need sum is 0 and the formula for sum is the number of terms into my average. The number of terms, if the sum is 0, either the number of terms is 0 or the average value is 0. But I know that number of terms can't be 0 because the terms are 0, there is no series, right? So that means the average must have to be 0. If the average is 0, that means average is the middle term, or you can say the middle term must be 0. So which term of the series can take the value 0? If I say, if I look, there is a decrease of minus 2, right? So for the next 5 terms, if I take a jump of next 5, right, T18, right, the value would be 6. For another 5, the value would be 4, then 2, then 0. So here T23, the next term would be there is a jump of plus 5, so 28 and T33. So you can say the 33rd term is 0, or we can conclude that 33rd term is the middle term. If 33rd term is the middle term, then there will be total of 32 plus 1, that is 65 terms, right? Because 33rd term is the middle term. That means we have 32 terms behind it and 32 terms next to it, right? So there are total of 65 terms. So you have to find the value of n. So my n would be 65. So this is my answer.